Nonstop Rock Talk with Tyson Bryden. Welcome to Nonstop Rock Talk. This is your host, Tyson Bryden. Today, I'm very happy to welcome solo artist Davy Williamson. Davy, welcome in. How's it going?
Hey, thanks so much, Tyson. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. It's a pleasure. Now, I have to ask, as an artist, how has life been as a musician during what we term, I guess, as COVID times? I'm sure, like everyone, there have been a few challenges along the way.
Sure, there is. Unfortunately, the gigs stopped because, at least for me regionally, a lot of the venues just had to shut the doors. Smaller venues, restaurant style things, if you wanted to play like an acoustic show, some of those were open, which I'm thankful for, not just for me, because that's not something that I'm currently doing or with management is me performing at or booking or any of that, but for my friends that are musicians that I grew up around and care about, they're able to keep performing even though it's it's the restaurant gigs, which a lot of musicians sometimes aren't fond of, but times are tough, so you do whatever you have to do. And so that's where everybody's kind of head's been, and I'm just glad that there's been an opportunity, and especially the restaurants giving people that are musicians the opportunity to still maintain that lifestyle. It's important.
Now, where are you based out of?
I'm out of Wilmington, North Carolina, here in the United States, and we're one of those states that everything's last, because they consider it the Bible Belt down here, right? And so we're always like the last horse to finish across the finish line. So we had. Roy Cooper made all kinds of rules and wasn't letting anybody do anything, and the bars had to be completely shut down. There was nobody could open, and just until I think it was last Friday, they finally opened up at least things till 11 p.m. at night, and so now bands are starting to be able to play again versus just your acoustic daytime gigs.
Well, that's good. That's very good news. I mean, up here in Canada, we're not even anywhere close to that.
No.
They've been dragging their feet on the vaccine. We weren't able, because we're not manufacturing any vaccines in Canada up till now. So getting it from wherever has been a little bit of a challenge. Now they're saying that the goal was the end of September to have everybody vaccinated, but we'll see. We'll see on that. So,
well, I think something came up, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear I could have seen something this morning that said to the effect of one of the vaccines was causing blood clots or something along these lines.
Oh, no.
And they're trying to pull all of that, and they said something in the headline was something to say, doctors are baffled, blah, 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 like, how does the vaccine cause these blood clots and this and that? And to be honest with you, man, like, I want everything to go back to being normal again, but I also don't want to, I don't want to be the person who's fed the vaccine that nobody's sure if it works or not. It's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm in a rock band, so it's that we party and whatnot. Yeah. And so it's like I drank way too many beers too many times, and that's terrible for me too. But I think the fact that they have right. So I'm uncertain whether or not it's a good idea to just, we're going to just throw this vaccine together and let's hit everybody with it. And then all of a sudden now they're like, oh shit, I think we made a mistake. It's like, well, that's exactly why I didn't want to just be the first one up there doing it. But I understand that it's something that needs to happen, and it's something that people need to get behind once we know that we have something that's safe and secure, and we can move forward with the healing process.
Well, exactly. I mean, the baffling thing to me is the fact that, we'll watch the news and they'll say, okay, Canada bought this many vaccines from Pfizer, and then you'll see there's a bunch of different manufacturers of the virus, right? So, and then I've heard of stories about effectiveness. Like, okay, this one's 72% effective, this one's 67% effective. So, I'm hoping when I go to get it that I'll get the 72% effectiveness. Who knows which one you're getting? Like, I don't know if they'll tell you. which vaccine it is. I guess maybe you could ask, but very...
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to volunteer that information. I just don't know. And at the end of the day, it only benefits all of us if everybody is good and there's not a problem anymore and COVID situation happening. More than anybody, it's the promoters, my promoters and venues and the people that I'm friends with and familiar with. Our livelihood depends on it. Servers depend on it. People who are in the restaurant industry, the bar industry, like that. That's where those are my people, right?
Yeah,
so it's like I want it fixed worse than anybody, not just to benefit me, but to hell to benefit everybody involved. Like if my fan base doesn't have any money because they don't have a job or they don't go to work, and I don't have a venue to go perform at, I need to shift up what I'm doing with the rest of my life, right? I think that everybody's.
Yeah.
So I hope we are able to figure it out faster.
In the town I live in, we're in what they call we're in a red zone. So a bar is, you can go to a bar and drink a beer, or you can go you can go eat at a restaurant, but it's only 10 people. So you walk in and you go, if it's a popular spot, chances are you're going to be waiting an hour at least to get in, because and they don't do it by per capita or by size of how big the bar is, you know what I mean? Or the restaurant. It's just 10 people and that's it. You could walk into this big, huge place and they're only allowed 10 people.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's not a good way to go about that. I don't think.
No, not at all. And it's like, why would you even open for, you've got to pay staff and, you have your overhead and, your electricity and, your rent and everything like that. And I can't see how you can even sustain owning a business under that format.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible. Not with 10 people, especially some of the sizes of these venues that we perform at, or I've performed at in the past. Even in being in Canada, I can't see how it's spot.
Crazy.
It's 400 or 500 people that fits. There's 10 people in it all of a sudden. What's the point of opening?
Well, I think it's just it, right? And then the bar atmosphere. There's no atmosphere. It's like
right.
And if they don't turn the radio on, it's like, okay, I could have done this at home, right? So
I think that's everybody's thought. So unfortunately, we're all stuck kind of dealing with the same thing no matter where we're at.
I know, exactly. Now, you embarked on a solo career in 2020, I believe. Before that, please give me a little bit about your background into your musical journey leading up to this point.
Okay. Early years, I played in a lot of little. Let me prefix this with what we used to call indie rock and indie band. They were truly independent. There wasn't all the digital help. There wasn't all the Facebook and social communication outlets that there is today. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these kind of things, right? Back when we were independent artists, it was like go into a grocery store parking lot and fly everybody's car and try not to get caught, and then, blaze out of there. And then hope to show up to shows and that kind of thing. It was truly independent. It's like we're running around stickers on everybody's car and we're like, oh shit, let's not get caught. But today, it's today's something totally different. They're like, oh, indie bands. It's like, yeah, but I don't know. We're calling it indie, but it seems really structured to me, even being considered kind of in that realm again.
Yeah.
I don't see it like that anymore. My God, when I was 16, 17 years old, playing little house shows and stuff like that, that's what I think of indie. I think of things like, what I now think are small groups, or thought were small groups, are now huge groups, like Mudhoney, or, Quicksand, or old school rock bands. Back when the Pixies were people were like, who's that? That's underground. My God, you can go into an H&M now and there's Pixie shirts in there. It's just
it's crazy. I always laugh when I see that, and I always go, I'm like, I'm not buying that, because now that's become the norm. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just.
I know it, but it's tough to do that, man. It's tough to like not. I'm a big fan of music, no matter where it comes from and who it comes from.
Yeah.
But it really irks me, like when you see the chick walking down the street with like a Rolling Stone shirt on or something, and you're like, name one Rolling Stone song, and they're like, I don't know. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, I remember a few years ago, a Cardassian wearing a Metallica shirt or something like that.
Yeah, see, I think I want to throw up, man. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. And it was like, yeah, okay, how many songs do you know, and do you actually listen to the bands? Right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing they never do. So it's always, I think, going to be like that because it's licensing and marketing for the band, and the band looks at it like, look, man, call it. Back in the day, what we used to say, we call them sellouts.
Yeah.
Is it though? It's like, man, I'm trying to live too. I'm trying to have a life.
Well, that's
I'm trying to make, and that's part of the problem. And if things open back up, and I think that's going to happen in the near future, I think that there's going to be a resurgence of rock music bigger than ever. And in fact, my label, one section of my label is over in London, and there's a massive surge in rock music and success within rock music right now. And they're going crazy about it. And I love hearing it. The problem is I'm in America, so here we are. And it's like, well, shit, man. Like, we need something has to happen. Something needs to happen quick and soon. The venues aren't going to make money by just playing the jukebox anymore. I think there's going to have to be events that take place, and I think people are going to have to get excited about it again. And without that, I think we're all going to fall flat on being able to make any money or monetize whatever it is that we're selling, whether it be tickets to a music venue or whether it be alcohol at a bar venue.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you on that. I think there will be a resurgence. I think people they're just going to want to get out, and they're going to be like, I want to see live music, because I've said this a few times on my show that it's, we never thought it would ever go away. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where you kind of take for granted. You're like, well, you know what? There's always going to be live music, and if I don't go to that show, it's going to be there next week, the next time they come around. Well, now we're waiting for that next time for that band to come around and don't know when it's going to be.
Well, think of it this way, man. If people are going to lose interest in trying to learn how to play music too,
right?
And they're going to lose performing music because there's already no money in it. Let's be honest, right?
That's so true. Yeah.
Unless it hits huge, nobody's making a fortune at doing this anymore.
Yeah.
You can sign record deals. I've been there. You can sign record deals and have some money that is just debt, but that's not making money. They're like making it where you can afford to perform night after night after night and do it because you love it and you care about it. If bands lose interest in doing that, and if the musicians lose interest in pursuing a career in music, we're all doomed for the rest of our lives. Because can you imagine if that went away completely?
That'd be horrible.
And everybody was just like, oh, whatever. Now everybody's just a DJ and they're making up their beats and everything. We're going to be in deep shit, man. If that's the case.
It's true. What is the incentive? It's somehow the business structure of how it is presented with, needs to change in some way where, people are forced to buy a physical product or pay more for what they're listening to. But when you think about someone like Spotify and the money that gets paid out from Spotify to the artist, there's nothing, right? And
it is. There's nothing. And so you have to be able to perform and monetize that outlet.
Yeah.
The piece of that, the whole outlet, like being in the music business. But you can do pretty well playing small acoustic gigs. You can do pretty well sometimes as a band, it's almost like the bigger you try to make it in the business, the less financial stability you end up having. And hence one of the reasons why I went at all this alone this time. One, I wasn't planning on doing anything again. I kind of put it up and was like, I'm just over it. And I had a friend of mine, Sean Atkins from Background Records, just say, look, man, I want to do this with you one time. Like, give me a shot. I want to bring you in. We're going to make things happen.
Yeah.
And let's record it, my studio. That I'm putting together as we speak.
Okay.
And
cool.
Yeah, and then he's like, you play all the instruments. Why don't you just do everything? And I was like, well, I mean, I guess, man. I just never thought of it that way. And he's talked me into it, and we seem to be doing all right. I mean, things are. We're having a little bit of success with it. We're on a lot of rock radio stations throughout the country, and in Canada as well. One of my biggest supporters, KB Radio in Ontario. I'm in full rotation over there, and they do a great job promoting me and pushing things along in Canada. So,
that's great. That's great. I'm the worst because I don't listen to a whole lot of radio. So, I have Sirius in my vehicle, but I don't even listen to that because I just got a newer vehicle, so I got it for like 3 months. But XM Sirius, yeah. So I don't listen to it a whole lot because the certain stations that I do like, I always find it's like radio. They only play the same stuff all the time, right? So it's like, when Sirius first came out, I loved it. I was like, okay, this is a different format. This is great. I think I need to maybe dive a little deeper into it and find other stations that I might have more interest in. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting bored of the same ones that I'm always listening to, which it is what it is. But you mentioned KB Radio is what it is called?
Yeah, KB Radio out of Ontario.
Okay, well, Ontario's...
I think they're in London.
In London, okay.
Yeah, London, yeah. Sorry, I could have cleared that up. I've actually traveled all through Canada, so I'm actually familiar with it, which is kind of rare, I guess, to speak. A lot of you's done all that. So I've traveled the entire Canadian one from east to west, and all the way up to Banff and then into Alaska and all that. So
cool. I've played in Banff myself, and it was amazing.
Have you?
Yeah, I played there twice, man. It's an awesome place. I love Banff. So
it's probably one of the prettiest places I've ever been at.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was there in October, and of course it's Alberta, so you don't know if it's going to snow or it's not going to snow, but it did snow, and it was awesome. And then I was back a few months after that, maybe 3 months after that, and it was the dead of winter, but it was still awesome. It's just a great place. Hopefully.
Yeah, I love it.
Hopefully I'll get to go back again someday. Now, let's talk about your EP. Your upcoming EP. The first single was Thin Disguise. Tell me a bit about that song and possibly why was it chosen as the first single?
You know what? It's a song that I had written a long time ago, but I never finished writing it, and I never really put all the pieces together, but it was one that always kind of lingered around. I, believe it or not, had performed it, total different lyrics, everything, a couple times way back in the day, to kind of test it and see how people liked it. And it turns out that people were responsive to it, but the band broke up, and back then I was in a band called Third Class Passenger.
Right.
Third Class Passenger split up. I kind of took those songs, so I was like, whatever, I'll throw them in the back pocket, for a rainy day or something if I decide to ever go back at this, or this style of music. As fate would have it, here I am again, and I was like, hey, you know what, we're in the studio. He goes, well, what are we going to try? Let's go ahead and start to lay something down. Well, I was like, well, how about this? So instead of that song again, and then kind of rewrite the lyrics or refine the lyrics to match what I was trying to portray the first time. And it seemed to work out. So we had a good time recording it, and I was having to figure out and knock all the rust off because it was the first track that we had put together. The reason we released it is it was the only one that I had to release at the time.
Oh,
so,
okay. Right on. Okay.
I was going to release one single and say, okay, this is it, and see what happens. And then, of course, while you said in the studio, 1 turned into 2, and 2 turned into 3, 3 turned into 4, and then I was like, all right, man, well, all I'm going to do is a CP anyway, and then it turned into 4 to 5, 6 to 7 to 8, which technically 8 would put us at an album.
Right.
So it was anything over 7. But there's the way I filled it up with 2 of the tracks are is an interlude and an outro, so I don't really count them. I still call it an EP.
And that's funny that you mentioned that, because I got an advance of the album yesterday, so I was listening to it, and I'm like, oh, there's 8 tracks on it, because I was going through the listing. I was like, oh, there's 8 tracks on here, and then just as you said, I realized that there was an interlude and an outro. So technically, I guess it's 6 full songs and then an interlude and an outro, which that's your 8.
Right, but it's interesting how that works too, because with licensing or sync licensing for my licensing contract with Tinderbox Music, the way they see it is they want a lot of little instrumental things like that because they can place them in movies. So I put there, so to be smart about it, I had to place them somewhere. I wanted them on the album anyway, but then I was like, well, if I make them into tracks and not just on the backside of everything, then I can send those off to, Harry Fox Agency and the different groups that need to have it so that I can monetize it, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, SoScan, SoCan, all that stuff. Because they'll pay for it if they place it in these shows. And so I had some interest for just little stuff like that. I was like, oh, well, I guess here you go. So it kind of worked out in a funky way. I wasn't anticipating it, but that's what happened. So that's where we're at, having that many tracks on it.
Ah, okay. So when you go to play live, you're going to you'll have a band?
Yes. So I'm going to have guys that are... that will fill in, or they'll be hired guns. Yeah. Mostly, my brother is a great musician. Both of my brothers are, as well as my sister. Oh, wow. And I'll probably drag them into it at some point.
I love that.
I have all of a sudden with the Partridge Family, or whatever it is, right? So, but it's not quite fitting for the sound that I'm doing there.
You're gonna have to get the bus then. You'll have to get the Partridge Family bus.
Well, that'd be sweet. But I've got friends that are great musicians. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem ever getting guys to come perform. Even some of the guys who've played bands with me before, they have interest in wanting to do this as well, whether it be Chad Hoyle from My Shop Par, whether it be Jason Urganis from Third Class Passenger, Chris McCullen from Third Class Passenger, Cutler Gage-Lay. There's just a ton of names where these guys are phenomenal musicians. They're burnt out, like a musician gets. It's just you get tired of banging your head against the wall and hoping for some kind of a success to happen, and then when it doesn't happen, you're frustrated. So you go, I'm done with this shit. And so you quit. And that's why I kind of just took the flag and have run with it. I'm like, you know what, man, I'll be back to get everybody. Shit, what do you want me to do?
That's good enough.
I'll be back to grab them when the time comes, but there's too many roadblocks when you have too many hands in the cookie jar, and it's easier for me to be completely in control of it on this side, and then be able to go back and get them and be like, I can pay you X number of dollars per show. Yeah, cool, great, And then it's like we can still stay friends, because this is how this happens too. Since you're a guy who plays music, you stay friends and you can stay on good terms versus be in a relationship, with 3-4 other guys in a band, and then everybody draw a temper tantrum 24/7 and all hate each other and end up just breaking up anyway and then never talking to each other again. So I think the smartest way to go about it was just attack it myself, come back and tell everybody, say, "Look, man, all right, I'm ready to roll, let's go."
Yeah. No, and that's a great way. That's a great way to look at it. And then, I mean, you have your creative freedom. You can, I mean, doing everything yourself is like, you can experiment. No one's saying, "Hey, I don't know if I like that," that kind of thing. And it's all you, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And you don't have anybody in the way. You don't have any. Like I said, you get to stay friends, and you can still pick their brains about, "Hey man, what do you think of this?" With my brother, I do. One of the greatest that will be playing shows with me is Sean Atkins out of Background Records in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He is a phenomenal musician. He's great at recording. He's a rising star producer. And I've had the luck to be able to work with him, and man, it's like meeting your match mentally.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we just walk each other through it. We're never sitting around critiquing each other. We're more sitting around trying to realize we're trying to collectively make the best sound and do the best that we can do between our two brains, and without being like, "Well, I think it should be like this," and they're like, "Well, I think it should be like this." It's like, "Oh, okay, I see." When we get along, and it's great, and we have fun doing it, and he's got some amazing tricks up his sleeve, and I'm super happy to be working with him, as well as other guys, as soon as we get back to the chance of performing live. So,
yes, exactly. Now, Cliché was just recently released as a second single. I love that title, by the way. Kind of tell me about that track. What was kind of your thinking behind that song lyrically?
Again, this was another one I had in the back pocket that I just hadn't messed with. I performed it before under Third Class Passenger. Total different lyrics, total different guitar parts. I kept some of the same things that we had worked on. Yeah. Chris McCullum really brought that one to the forefront, who was the bassist for Third Class Passenger. It was something that he brought to the table, but he, again, the band didn't really work out. Here's a track, what are you going to do about it? He's like, "Man, take it and run. Make it do its thing." And I'm just like, "All right, man, well, I'm going to just go ahead and run with this. So let's rock and roll." And he's had the opportunity to listen to it as it's progressed and as we've made bigger moves with it. Sound-wise and what we planned on making it sound like.
Yeah.
Overall as a track. But yeah, Chris McCollum's a big influence on that one. And Jason Gerganis actually showed up at the studio, his old drummer for Third Class Passenger, to see that I had changed the drum beat on him. I don't think he was very happy about that.
Oh.
But no, he's a great friend, and he was like, "Wait a minute, what happened to it going this way?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, well, I can't play as well, so I'm going to have to do it my way." So that's what this is for.
I would say, well, I heard it differently.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Jason. I'm going to do it my way now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but he was super excited to hear how it turned out as well. So the song itself, lyrically, I think it says everything that it says, and it's pretty transparent. And the track as a whole, laid out, like I said, it had been done early years. And I had to rewrite the lyrics. I had to learn how to play all the parts, and then I had to figure out how to do everything separately, and figure out how to play like the guys that I was surrounded by. These guys they're no joke. I mean, these guys are serious players. So to be able to try to come behind them and be like, look what I did. They had no hands, and they're just like, I'm like, all right, whatever, guys. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Now, as I said, I got the advance of it yesterday and listened to it, and Fault Line was, as I said before we started, was a track that really stood out to me. I really like that song. And I understand that it may be the third single.
It is going to be the third single, so good call on that. We read that song Spur of the Moment, and I've always wanted to do something that's just like rock, but, like a straightforward, just rock beat. And it sings that, and the song itself moves. It's just about how it moves and keeps the kind of flow going. It seems to grab a lot of people's attention already from EP sales and people reaching out to me about it. Everybody's starting to tell me how this is their favorite song. You never know as the guy who's writing it, or you never know as the guy who's putting the song together.
Yeah.
And knowing how to choose what the audience is going to want to hear. And it seems like to me that Fault Line is going to be the one that's going to grab everybody's attention, and it's really going to take off. And it is set up to be the third single to come out off of the EP. So I'm pretty excited about that. And it's interesting to finally see what everybody thinks, as it was just released. What was it, last Friday? Last Friday. So.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, we're getting a good response out of everything. So I'm pretty happy about that, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds as it continues to grow. And we're hitting a pretty large number of streams at this point. So I'm more than happy about that part of it, because I know that people are going to listen on it. So
now
it's going to be cool.
That's awesome. Now, are there physical copies of the album available?
There are. So those are on pre-sale. We're actually going to be doing some vinyl,
okay, cool.
custom vinyl kits that'll go out, and then we're also going to be doing physical distribution CDs. So my label out of London is going to be handling all physical distribution, everything. What is it? Whether it be sweatshirts, T-shirts, like all that stuff, it's all set up, like anything merchandise. They handle all of that as well as their other task. But they're going to be doing that where it can all be shipped and sold straight from the website. So, and that's DavyWilliamson.com.
Okay, and I mean, as a vinyl guy, that would be. I'm kind of interested in getting it myself, so I'll actually be going on that website to try and hunt that down.
Let me know. So I'll happily ship you one. Just take care of you and throw it on. Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. I'm constantly listening to vinyl. I mean, I have all these CDs in my house, and I mean, they just sit there now. For the most part, it's pretty well. I've gone back to just buying vinyl all the time. Everything that comes out now, unless it's not on vinyl, I try and get the vinyl first, or unless I have to buy the CD. But I prefer to get the vinyl, right?
To me, I'm a big fan. Yeah, I love the vinyl stuff, so that's something nostalgic about it.
There is, and I love that all this stuff coming out is on these colored vinyls, and like every week you're seeing like someone's releasing something, you're like, oh, check out this color. It's like, oh, I didn't even, like it's, I mean, I have a ton of colored vinyl, but it's all new pressings, right? Like all stuff that's come out or reissues or whatever. And just all these colors, or like the schematic, like how they do it. Sometimes they'll put like a marbling in the vinyl, or, like just so many different ways to entice people into buying the vinyl, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, yes, it's awesome. I love it. I'm just looking forward to people getting the opportunity to be able to listen to it on all types of different things. Because each format, the CD sounds one way, the vinyl sounds one way. Yeah. Same goes for listening to it digitally, even when you listen to it through different digital platforms.
That's true.
It sounds different, at least to me. Whether it's on YouTube Music or whether it's on iTunes, those two sound completely different to me. But, that may be my nitpicking things to death.
Yeah.
Brain, so.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned it. I was at a buddy's house, and I had brought over a stack of vinyls, and we were having a few beers one night, and we were listening to vinyl. And I put this one album on, and he absolutely loved it. And then he went to the streaming site that he had and listened to it, and it didn't have the same effect for him. He's just like, I don't get this now. I was like, oh, really? I was like,
right.
That's kind of...
It totally works that way. That's why it's important whenever you do listen to the music, like you have a good sound setup, because a lot of that has to do with the mastering process on the back end.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to it through headphones, it's going to sound one way. You listen to it through a car stereo, a different way. You listen to it, through a big PA system at like a rock concert, it's going to sound different too. But fortunately, whoever's doing the EQing or setting things up, they're making it all kind of sound the same or be mixed the same.
Yeah, exactly. So besides the website, do you have any other social media sites like Facebook or all that kind of stuff as well?
Yeah. I have it all, so it's easy to find me, even in just a Google search. If you just, go to Google and type my name in, Davy Williamson, Williamson. All those different sites will show up, whether it be SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of them. Everywhere and anywhere you can find digital streaming music services as well, you'll be able to find me. So I'm on every store that's available. I'm also, as of this coming up Thursday, I guess 2 days from now, I'm going to be in every jukebox owned by AMI, so AMI jukeboxes. I'll be on every one of those in the world, moving. So that's pretty cool. We just set all that up, so I'm pretty excited about that happening, and hopefully people will throw it in the jukebox or give it a play. It'd be awesome.
That's amazing. So is it the album, or is it just certain, like the first single or second single, or?
And the entire EP or entire album is going to be available. Yes, so everything as a whole. So, man, I'm ecstatic about that. That's one of those things you've done work for your whole life, and then you finally get there, and you're like, you're not even excited anymore. You're just like, finally, that's like, you know what I mean? It's like
true. That's so true. Okay, yeah. On the jukebox. No, that's not. What's that? Sorry.
I'm super excited about it. It's like now it's like, oh, great. Now I'm on the jukebox. Jesus, finally. So now what do we do?
We have to buy a jukebox.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you're gonna have to buy a jukebox. So yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Well,
after code.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for coming on today, man. It was a pleasure, and I wish you the best of luck with the EP. And I mean, I'm looking forward to getting it. So
yeah,
I can't wait to throw on that vinyl, and I'm gonna look it up on my. I have a copy of it, but is it on Amazon Music? Do you know?
It is everywhere. Every single place is. Oh yeah, you can find it. So anywhere you can find it, the whole EP is available. So please go and download it. And the game plan is to try to get this thing to. We're trying really, really hard right now to do a lot of marketing and promotion for the album, because I'm only a few hundred short at this point from landing on the Billboard charts, the top 100. So we're trying really, 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 really hard to hit that number, and I'm probably $400 or $500 off.
Okay, well,
before I would start. So, but that's all counted by digital downloads. So I need those numbers to be pumped up. We have till the 19th to hit those numbers. So I think we're going to get there. But I like this. I like to make sure first.
Yeah.
Before I just keep my fingers crossed forever. So
my
a few more numbers
for it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, man. Well, you enjoy the rest of your night, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you also send me over your information so I can shoot you over a vinyl copy.
Oh, that would be awesome, man. That would be so awesome. Okay, well.
Listeners,
okay, well,
yeah, and yeah.
It's been a pleasure, and will you take it easy?
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me on.
Okay, Davey. Thank you very much.
All right.
Take care.
Good man.
Okay.
Goodbye.
day I could not leave. Another day I felt the need.